Hey guys, it's Ruben here, bringing you part 13 of my Evil Within 2 Classic Difficulty walkthrough. And this is chapter 14. So, if you guys have been following up to now, you will know that last time we did chapter 13, which I believe is the hardest part in the game, where you have to get around the Firewalker section. So, if you were able to get through that section, nothing else in the rest of the game is going to stop you from earning the classic difficulty. So you can pat yourself on the back, and you're pretty much, I don't know, everything else is pretty much a minor obstacle from you attaining your classic difficulty trophy and your platinum, if you're going for the platinum trophy in PS4, or if you're doing your Xbox achievements, regardless. Or if you just want to beat the classic difficulty itself. Nothing else in the rest of the game is going to actually pose much of a challenge. Yeah, you guys are pretty much there. So as soon as the chapter starts, you're going to want to go towards the right area. Like, you saw me pick up a couple not collectibles, but like items that you can loot. But if you come to this right side of this room, you can pick up some nails to make some explosive bolts. You can get some herbs right here. Actually, 2 pieces of herbs. That's very generous. And you might be wondering, why aren't you just picking up the metal pipe here? It's just, I'm scared that if I pick it up, the enemy might come out. Like, this one drops on the floor, and I'm just like waiting for it to wake up, but it doesn't. But I'm like, would they really put an enemy right beside a mirror? So, you know, it's basically mind games at this point, because I know I got through the Firewalker section, but I still haven't saved, and I'm not going to save. That's an assault rifle ammo pouch. Really not necessary, because I don't even use the assault rifle that much. But I come back, I craft some more bullets, materials, blah blah blah, all the good stuff. I make all the freeze bolts that I just used up. I still have 3 more condensers, so I can make more freeze bolts later. But you saw how helpful the freeze bolts were for chapter 13, so I urge you to get as many as I can. So this chapter, there's going to be one huge area, and then like kind of like a one small fight you have to go through. And it's not too difficult in my opinion. It's just that one huge area, there's going to be a lot of firewalkers, firewalking enemies, and there's going to be one flamethrower cultist. And I get super lucky because I just use some smoke and I rush it. But I'm going to explain my mistake, and I'm going to tell you what to do better. I should have probably skipped all this, but I guess it gives me more time to explain my situation here. So you're going to have to climb these stairs, and you're going to get to a room with, I'd say, 7 or 8 enemies that are on fire, and like I said, 1 flamethrower enemy. You have to hit a switch that will open the gate, and then 2 more firewalking enemies spawn. So this is the room I'm talking about. So there are multiple ways to approach this room, but the easiest I found was to immediately go towards the right, deal with that one enemy that spawns right, towards the right. Like the one that just spawned. Yeah, deal with that one. And once you deal with it, you can go inside the room towards the room that he's guarding. And you can turn on the switch if you need to deal with the enemy. And you can use a smoke bomb or a smoke bolt at the entrance to the gate where you need to go to. And you can run it. You can run the entire way, and the gate will close. And you don't even have to deal with any of those enemies. So if you notice, I immediately start walking towards the right, because if you are a little bit late, the enemy on the top left will see you, and it will try to investigate the area, and it will make things harder for you. So right here, I instantly use a freeze bolt. You might say, why didn't you just go do a sneak attack? Because he turned on fire. And by the time I reach him, his flame on is gonna go off, but he's gonna turn around, and it's just gonna be too much. Like, depending on the time that I had to deal with, I didn't want to, because once these guys start screaming, all the enemies home in on you, and I didn't really want that. So I basically take these 2 guys out. If you're lucky, you can do a stealth kill on the enemy that I used the freeze bolt on, and you don't even have to go through this scenario where the second one sees you. as long as the guy is not, you know, in flame on mode. But if he's on flame on mode, I urge you to use whatever you can to take him out quickly and get into this room. So right here, he comes to check up on me. What I should have done is completely what I should have done is going to be different to what I'm doing right now. Like, I immediately go for this, and I use my gun to break this statue, and then collect the key. And that's going to urge the Firewalker all the way at the far end of the tunnel to come and investigate. Don't do that. What I should have done is to go take him out first using sneak attack, and then come and take the key. But it kind of works in my favor because I kind of like hide in the corner. I wait until he turns around, and then I go do a sneak attack to finish him off. It kind of worked out, but sometimes it doesn't always work out that way. So he has like a weird 30% chance where he will move further than where he used to be, and he will come and investigate you, and that will pose a lot of problem. So right here, don't hesitate to go up to him and use your stealth attack, because if he turned or if he went flame on, that guy would have instantly grabbed me and murdered me. So I got super lucky there. Learn from my mistakes. I still get I got lucky enough that I didn't have to, how do I say it? I didn't have to take damage, or I didn't die. Let's put it that way. And remember, if I die right now, I would have to go do the Chapter 13 Firewalker section again. And out of everything in the game that I have to redo, I don't want to redo that part. So right there, hitting that switch will open the gate. So activating that gate will spawn 2 more enemies, as you just saw. And you can actually skip this entire sequence if you really want to. So just go back the way you guys came, or that I show you in the video, and have a smoke bomb ready. And the reason I use a smoke bomb is because it actually works out really nicely over here. Since the 2 enemies in this area were already taken care of, well, I took care of 2 of them. In your game, if you're lucky, you'll take out the first one, and then you don't have to fight the second one. And the second one will just be going around these boxes right in front of me. What you can do here when you get up to this part, just toss a smoke bomb here and run for it. You're pretty much safe at that point. The smoke bomb might not have been necessary. I mean, I could have just ran past them. But you know when enemies start shrieking or shouting, you get hit on your stamina levels. So I don't want to take that chance. I don't want to get mauled by 6 or 7 enemies at once, so I throw my smoke bomb and I run for it. And you're pretty much done that entire sequence, and that could be the longest sequence actually. The next sequence is a couple sections where you have to activate switches, and you have to, I don't know, move around enemies. A lot of them actually. There's a couple there's a couple enemies on fire. There's a couple zombies, couple normal zombies. There's a flamethrower cultist. And yeah, switches like this. Now, this sequence, I got extremely lucky. And I'm going to be honest here. It might not work out the same way for you guys. But this is my first run through the game on classic difficulty, and this is what happened, and this is what I'm going to be showing you. And I'm going to explain what you should do so, you know, you don't get messed up like I did. When you go through this room, you can collect a couple nails over there, and there's a collectible if you really need to pick it up. There's a syringe, and there's some gunpowder. And if you really need to go back and craft some materials, there's a window right there. So we're going to keep continuing. Now, when you get to this section, there's going to be 2 zombies, maybe 1, and a flamethrower cultist in the first area. Now, don't waste your bullets like I did here. You have to wait until you walk in further into the room until the door behind you closes, and then you can interact with these switches. So the door closes, and now you can shoot the switch, which is retarded in my opinion, because I just wasted 3 bullets, 3 perfectly valuable bullets. Be careful. If you run too quickly into that room, you can get hit. So right there's a zombie right there, and if you're really lucky, that flamethrower enemy might take that zombie out. It happened to me the first 2 times when I tried it, when I went through the section. But if you're unlucky, like me, that zombie will stay alive. Now, the best idea I can give you is to either use a freeze bolt or a smoke bolt when those two enemies converge, when they get together, and you run for that switch over there and you turn it on, and you can run past this section. I wanted to see what was going to happen. I basically walk around this area trying to see what I'm able to do. Well, I mean, what these enemies will do. If you really need to, you can also use that freeze canister, right? You can shoot that freeze canister when the enemies are close by and they will freeze. I take my time. Like, this guy is supposed to take that zombie and he's not killing it, and it makes my life much worse than it needs to be. Like, look at that thing. It's right in front of you, man. Just shoot it and kill it. Like, he can take it out so much faster than you can. So, I just wait. I'm observing. Like, right now, when that zombie comes back, I can shoot that canister and freeze them all, but I am nervous and I am scared because, it's so stupid. Either way, you guys will see what happens. What happens is this zombie sees me when I'm trying to, like, hide, and, like, right now he sees me when I was about to get my smoke ready. Actually, I was going to get my harpoon ready and shoot it in the head. He sees me, and things get hairy because it's going to spawn him. He's going to come after me. The Harbinger doesn't see me yet, so I try to go stomp on him, right? And I didn't get the stomp off, so I run into this section thinking nothing's going to happen, and I get attacked from behind. Just wait until the scary moment happens. There's going to be... right there. I get attacked by that guy. And right now I'm sweating. I'm sweating balls right here because... that's chapter 13, the entirety of chapter 13, and the entirety, like half of chapter 14, going to waste if I mess up right here. So what I do is I shoot that canister, it freezes the Harbinger, and I am near death state right now. Hopefully you don't have to go through what I had to go through. Just get your freeze bolt ready, and when the time comes, use it, freeze them all, and you're safe. You can open the gate and you'll be good. Like, I freeze them, I activate the gate, and since he's frozen there, he's blocking the way, and you can pretty much run for it. Right now, I'm getting my, so I switched to my smoke, and then I'm going to quickly switch to my handgun to take this. Like, don't interact with any other enemies here, because it's going to be a waste of time. So, right here, you're actually pretty safe when you get to this part, but to make sure, I set a freeze trap just in case if an enemy starts to follow me, and I tap hard. Like, I'm looking behind, I'm sweating. Like, I was like, what, near death twice in this section, like within the last like 2 minutes. So I did not want to take any chances. I'm gonna wait until I wanted to see what was gonna happen, and that enemy sees me and he's gonna start following me, and I'm like, god damn, like, give me a break. Like, you could say, why don't you just move on? Why don't you just go inside, activate the switch, and get ready? The problem is, say if I activate the switch and it's not fast enough to close the gate, that enemy can walk in along with the creepy crawler that's going to spawn in here. So, you guys can turn on the switch if you really think you're safe, but I wanted to be extra careful, and it bites me back because I try to be extra careful, I just waste time, and I don't know. It could have been done much more smoothly. I overdo it here. You can, on the mound that you see right there, you can dig it to find some gunpowder and like bullets if you really need it. So right now, this is completely unnecessary, guys. Just activate the switch, get ready for the fight with the crawlers. I mean, these guys can't really come inside this room, right? So I'm just wasting shotgun bullets here. Like, look at this. What a waste. At this point, I did not want to take any chances. So I put on my shock, and I step on him to finish it. Now, the problem with dealing with this enemy is that every other enemy around the level heard me, and they're going to come to this area, especially the Harbinger enemy, the enemy that uses the flamethrower. And it's going to make things a little bit more difficult later in this section when two of those creepy crawlers spawn from the left and right. So right here, I close the gate, which is good. It's going to start spawning this guy, and I use an explosive bolt. What I wanted to do was use a freeze bolt and shotgun it 3 times in the face. Didn't really work out. I used 2 explosive bolts to see what would actually kill it. And lo and behold, it's actually still alive. And at this point, I believe the explosive bolts were a waste of time. Now what I do is a smart thing where I put 2 freeze bolts, one on this side and one on that side. What I didn't account for is the fact that the one on the right, it can actually jump over the freeze bolt, and it wasted. Like, it really... If you're wondering what happened, is that I didn't want to waste my shotgun ammo until they got too close. And right here, you can see I'm doing horrible. Guys, just when you get a chance, use your shotgun, take these guys out. Don't ever mess around with them. Don't ever play around with them. They're not to be taken lightly. Now, there's only one left. I could technically leave this area because it opened the gate. I can run upstairs and I can get ready for the boss battle. But I make it a little bit more complicated than I need to because I want that locker key that's in this room. So I try to use my crossbow bolt. It didn't really work out. Then I look over to the gate and I see the Harbinger enemy over there. You know what he does? He shoots through the gate and he can hit you. He can hit you through geometry. And this thing is... like, it's gonna get interesting. Right now, he's gonna hit me. Did you see how close I was to death? Don't be an idiot like I was. You have more than enough locker keys to finish the rest of the game. I was a bit more adamant in getting this locker key. I don't know why. Oh my god, the amount of near deaths that I've had in this situation is ridiculous. So right here, I waste my... It's all about... how do I say it? Your mental outlook on the situation. Oh my god, twice now! I'm like, this situation's gotten out of control. I'm gonna have to use an actual med kit. Did you see me? This is me starting to tremble. This is me starting to lose it. I'm making... like, you saw how well I played until I got to this point, and now I'm all nervous. I don't know what to do. I'm making a lot of mistakes. And that's basically how it is. If you get a little bit overwhelmed, your mind turns off. And that's exactly what happened here. So I'm showing this to you guys because don't make the same mistake I do. Don't go for that locker key. I'm an idiot. I waste a lot of resources here for no reason. I could have just ran past these guys. Like, as soon as the second one died, the gate was open. The stairs were ready to be, like, traversed. I could have just gotten out of this part, made my save, and be done with this part. But I'm just like, I gotta get that last key. I gotta get that last key. And you're seeing an idiot in action right now who, up to this point, I had my mind set straight. And once I saw that flamethrower hit me, and once I started taking a lot of damage, that's it. I lost my cool. And I'm just glad that I didn't have to redo this part, because if I did, oh man, I would have gone crazy. Let's put it that way. But right now, you're pretty much done this entire section. I would highly advise you guys to make a save, because there is a high potential that you can die towards Boxhead or Laura, because Laura has this tendency to grab you, and if she grabs you, it's an insta-kill. And you might think you're able to handle it. Fine. If that's the case, then go through with the boss fight, finish it, and then make your save in chapter 15. But I'm a little bit scared of Laura because I already know what she's capable of. She already killed me once. So I'm like, no, I'm just gonna take it safe. We're getting real low on herbs here. It's all thanks to that one section over there. But regardless, I make it. I'm gonna need it. And I make a couple more freeze bolts. Now, the good news about this boss fight is there's plenty of ammo lying around. There's a freeze bolt, there's a shock bolt, there's an explosive bolt within the Boxhead area. So you're going to need a little bit more ammo for that fight, because just those 3 are not going to be enough to take them down. The first sequence is simple. I mean, obviously you're going to fight the Saw guy from the first game, which I think it was chapter 3 or 4 where you fought him in the first game. And in this game, you're going to have to pretty much fight him in this sequence. Don't worry, the boss fight with the Saw dude is actually not an actual boss fight. It's more in an interactive boss fight than anything. So right here I make my 5th save. Actually, this is my 6th save. Sorry, my 5th save was the one before this, but this is my 6th official save. It's right before the boss fight with Boxhead and Laura. And after I make the save, I'm gonna craft some more items. And I don't think I used my keys here because I try to save them all as a clump to use it right before the final boss fight. That's when I make my last save. So right, this is it, guys. This is the boss fight against Boxhead and Laura and a little bit of Saw Dude, who you get to interact with a little bit. So as soon as you come to this boss fight area, you can pick up a harpoon bolt right to the left. And if you run all the way to the right, you can pick up a fuse, which is useful. And you can pick up some gunpowder. And that's pretty much it. You can, once you enter, you're going to have a long cutscene. I chose to skip it. And he's back. He makes a return. And we get to... I was hoping to fight this guy. Like, after you make your run, I thought we were actually going to fight him. So you're going to have to run. You need to run in this sequence. Don't press the X button here. If you just keep running, he will actually automatically transition into the kick scenario. And once you get halfway through, it goes into this cutscene, or transition into this cutscene. And I was really, really hoping to fight this boss because I don't know. I thought in the first game he was a cool enough boss. You know, he runs at you, charges at you, he slashes you, and you can like do some cool stuff. But here, I don't know. It's kind of pointless to show him, like, tease us with this, and not even, like, when he says, not this time, I'm just like, oh, yeah, we're gonna fight him. Like, when you pick up that chainsaw that we're gonna actually, like, he's gonna block it, and we're gonna have to fight in this, like, the whole environment changes, we're gonna have to fight him. But no, that's not how it works. We just finish him off. We just hack him in half. Oh, well. Regardless, let's move on to talking about... Okay, in this sequence, you're going to have to tap X repeatedly, and if you don't do it, he can kill you, so be careful about that. But that's the boss fight for... I don't know this guy's name. All I call him is Saw Dude, the Chainsaw Dude. But the Boxhead battle. For the Boxhead battle, make sure you have a couple shock bolts. Make sure you have at least one freeze bolt and a couple explosive bolts, because when you get to that fight, the first phase is because there's going to be one Boxhead, right? He faces you, and I don't know, he just runs around, charges around. It's like if you played the first game, you know how Boxhead fights. He runs around, he can teleport from one side of the room to the other side if he wants to. In this game, he doesn't teleport. It's just like once he spawns in the room, he's pretty much there, and you just kite him around the area. So right here, this was so nostalgic. He smashes his head. I was so happy when I saw him. But I run into this side, and there's a couple, like, there's ammo all over the place. Now if you're wondering what I'm doing is I'm using my harpoon bolts because I don't actually have uses for them. Aim a little bit higher towards the chest area. Hitting him in the crotch isn't going to really do much damage. I mean, relatively speaking, it doesn't do that much. If he charges at you, he would take about 80% of your health, and if he grabs you, that's almost 100% of your health. You might live to tell the tale about it. So you saw that. He's on the floor. I would advise when he's on the floor, you go straight up to him and use your shotgun bolts on it. I say bolts, shotgun shells on him. And there's a full heal if you really need it. I don't think I pick it up. But, yeah. I use my harpoon bolts every time he smashes his head with his hammer. It's funny. I love it. You can use your sniper rifle. Sniper rifle is extremely powerful in this sequence. And there you go. I take out the first Boxhead. Now, there's going to be 2 Boxheads spawning randomly around the room. Since I knew he was going to kind of spawn over here, I put my freeze bolt there, and I take out my shotgun and I shoot him 3 times. And that does a significant amount of damage on him. And the second one's right there. This is the battle, guys. This is a little bit more challenging because those 2 come at the same time. So what you want to do is not do that. I almost get destroyed right there. Oh my god, how am I even alive? So I heal, and I use my freeze bolt to freeze both of them at the same time. And the moment they freeze and I see that both of them are frozen, I switch to my explosive bolts and I shoot it right between those two, so it damages both of them at the same time. You see they kind of stumble, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep using my explosive bolts. I have like 6 or 7 of these, and I'd say 4 or 5 explosive bolts and you're pretty much done the entire battle. How easy was that? It doesn't always go that way because those two might not go the same directions you want it to go. But I gotta talk about this. When that door opened, and I'm just like, what the heck is coming out? Like, I thought we were done in the battle. And then I saw those arms, I was just like, yes! I screamed. I'm just like, I can't believe we're gonna fight her again. It's not gonna be the exactly the same fight as the first game, because in the first game you have these valves you have to shoot and fire trickles down and it hits her. In this game you have to direct the flames to this one central unit, and then you have to lure her into that spot and turn on the switch. So right here I activate my freeze bolt to freeze her and to activate the first switch. Extremely dangerous what I'm doing. I don't even know how I survived this. She hits me and I go into like almost death animation. Oh, actually she didn't hit me. Okay, that was the first time. She actually grabbed me and instantly murdered me when I first got here in classic difficulty. I learned my mistake by using my freeze bolt. So here's the second valve and she hits me. Did you see how much damage she did? Death state. That's what she's capable of. I love her as a boss. I also hate her when she does that. So I freeze her and I go for the second valve. Now, there's a 50-50% chance that she might come from the way I just came, or she might spawn here. If she spawns there, you're golden. But after like 2 or 3 seconds, you don't see those red aura of her spawning. That means you're in trouble. Get ready, because she might like grab you from behind. So what I do right here is I get a freeze bolt ready. The reason being is I want her to get stuck there so I can activate the flame trap. 2 flame traps and she basically is done. You'll finish the battle. So I'm waiting it to run around. The machine, like, you hear that noise? That noise basically signals that you're ready to be finished. So I'm just kiting her around, waiting for the perfect opportunity to, like, look at her. She's literally, her AI is really good. It blocks me from that path. But I activate the second one. You just need to lead her in, and then once you activate that second switch, you're pretty much done chapter 14, because 2 hits with that fire and she's done. And that's pretty much the end of the chapter. It's going to nicely transition into chapter 15 with a long cutscene that I don't want to ruin. It's going to have a long loading screen, but that's going to be it, guys. That's going to be chapter 14. I'll see you guys next time, and as always, take care.